Hi everyone. Today I'm here with my new topic. It is too much interesting for you and hope you will learn something new and interesting. And the name of the topic is History of the Formulation of a Cell Theory. So we already knows that the biologist had no detailed knowledge about the structure of living bodies before the invention of microscope. The first question is that what is a cell theory? The cell theory postulates that the cell is a fundamental unit of living being, from the simplest microorganisms to the most complex higher organisms, animals and plants, both in terms, structure and their function. So what is a cell history? Means what is the theory? The theory is that cell was first coined in 1665 by the English scientist Robert Hooke when he observed honeycombs like chambers and a cork and other plant tissue under the lens of microscope. Cell theory timeline from 1665 to 1862. First of all, the ancient Greeks studied the natural world. Aristotle gave the idea that plants and animals are related. A few years later, Anthony observed the first living cells as tiny organisms in pond water, called them animalcules. In 1809, Jean said that nobody can have a life if it is not composed by a cell. In 1831, British botanist Robert Brown discovered the nucleus in a cell. In 1838, German botanist said that all the plants are composed of cells. In 1839, German zoologist said that all the animals are composed of cells. So what is the history of a cell theory? In 1674, Anthony, cloth merchant keen on polishing lens, described that the blood was made up of tiny particles that flowed along the capillaries and made numerous observations of various animals or microscopic organisms, often unicellular, which we know today as microorganisms. So the question is that cell as a vital unit of a life. The statement is true or not? If the statement is true, so what is the reason behind that? The 19th century was, however, the true starting point for the study of a cell and its function, which was developed in parallel with the advance of microscopy and appearance of compound microscope. In 1838, the two scientists discovered and says that according to which all living beings, plants and animals are formed by cell, which they considered the fundamental vital unit of a life. In 1839, Jean called the cell contents protoplasm. What is the main points of cell theory? Currently, cell theory is summarized in following points. All living organisms are composed of cell. The cell is a structure and functional unit of living beings. The cell is the basic unit of reproduction. Each cell comes from the division of other pre-existing cells, being identical to these structurally and functionally. The cell is the most elementary, independent unit of life. Robert Brown in 1931 discovered the nucleus in a plant cell. Nucleus in the most prominent organelle within the eukaryotic cell. In animal cell, it lies in a center, but in plant cell, it lies on one side due to the presence of a large central vacuole. There is something new and new information for us. A scientist, he observed that all plants are composed of different kinds of cells, which form the tissue of plant. So the question is that what is tissue? I will explain to you. When cells form together, they will make tissue of a body, maybe a plant body and maybe an animal body. Okay? There is a summary of today's topic, cell theory historical timeline. In 1655, Robert Hooke from England, he first time observed the cell walls of cork. He introduced the term cell. From Holland, in 1674, scientists observed tiny living organisms in pond water. After that, in 1833, Robert Brown from Scotland discovered nucleus in a cell. And then 1838, from Germany, a scientist discovered that plants are made up of cells. From the same country, another scientist in 1839 discovered that animals are made up of cells. He also discovered that outer wall of animal cell was thin, while the plant's cell had outer thick wall. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good day, and if you have any kind of a question, then tell me about that. I will clear all the doubts. Till then, have a good day and bye bye.